Let me just put my thingy on pause.
It's saying that.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm here with my brother Kammy. Alhamdulillah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum Kammy, are you good?
Wa alaikum assalam. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes, I can hear you, bro. Alhamdulillah.
I just didn't want any mishaps like we did earlier. Alhamdulillah, yeah, I'm good. Just glad to be here on your live feed.
Alhamdulillah. It's a pleasure to have you, bro, man. And I think I've known Kammy for about a year now. Is that true?
Is it? Well, we actually knew each other on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, Facebook, but I mean...
I don't know how long exactly. But then obviously we...
Stay out of the camera.
We met in person, obviously, when we went to the conference.
Yeah, we met in person. We went to the conference in Birmingham.
But it's strange because what it is, in all honesty, I didn't know nothing about you. Like I didn't know about the whole EDL and that you were a revert and this and the other until we actually met, and I was like, oh right, is that what you are and who you are, and is that what you like? Do you know what I mean? Like that's when I actually knew the ins and outs about you.
Sorry, it's my nephew who's just been a bit of a pain in the bum. Sorry about that, guys. So you didn't know nothing about me. It's not a surprise, is it?
No, because obviously I would have thought that, like, you know, like sometimes, like with some people, you kind of like know, like, oh yeah, that person off, like, you know, he's off YouTube, like, you know, he does dawah and this and the other. But like with you, I didn't know at all. Do you know what I mean? Even though I think you've been on a couple of channels and stuff like that, I genuinely didn't know who you were.
Yeah, maybe because I don't advertise myself enough.
No, I don't think it's necessarily about that. Like, but you know, like sometimes you like kind of pick up off other people who a certain someone is like, but I just didn't know until like we met and you were like, oh, you know, I used to be part of English Defence League, and you know, I used to be this, that, and the other, and I used to be good looking, and
Is that the beard, yeah?
and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, so I met Kammy on through Facebook, but I think it was more the football banter, wasn't it, really?
No, because I don't think we had necessarily
football. Was it UFC?
No, because what happened is obviously you messaged me about going. No, because I think you asked me how I'm getting to thingy, or no, what is that? No, because I don't think you had any plan to go to Green Lane at all. I don't know.
No, I didn't have no plans to go to Green Lane Masjid. It was like I think it was a last minute thing because I asked Martin.
Yeah, no, because I think what it was, you were saying that I don't think that you had anyone to go with.
Yeah, and then I asked Martin if he wanted to come, and then we ended up sharing a room. Alhamdulillah, and it went really well.
So I think that's how it kind of played out, because you asked me, I think, about Green Lane and how I'm getting there and stuff like that, and I said to you, well, I'm going with a brother.
That's our brother
Hamza. So then obviously I said to him that, you know, I ran it past him because obviously he was the driver. I said, you know, look, there's a big fat ginger guy who wants to come with us as well. Yeah, can we put him in on that? Yeah, and he's like, yeah, no, that's cool. But what it was like, don't you think that's like? Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, but it doesn't seem to be
clear. Is it clear?
I'm just wondering, can people see Kammy on the? Because it only seems to be showing me, not you as well. Yeah, because I'm watching it on YouTube. Walaikum salam, Mohed Ikanda. So it might be just like I'm speaking to myself. I don't know. 1 minute.
What's your channel called again?
Come to success.
Come to success. All right, let me see.
So you're here. Is it? It's like I'm on my own. Kammy, do you get me?
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm definitely here. I can.
Can't see him. Master can't see. Can you hear him?
Can you hear me?
Don't say we've done all that and you haven't even been speaking to them. Let me see if they can hear you. We can hear him, but they can't see you.
Why is that?
I don't know.
Can you see me though, Chris?
Can you? I can see you on the. I can see you on the Hangouts, of course I can, but I can't see you on the coming up on my YouTube channel. So basically, we might have to stop this for now, even though there's 19 people watching. Stay here, guys. I'll be straight back. I'll have to stop the broadcast. You'll have to leave and come back.
Me?
Yeah, Kammy.
Do you want me to leave and come back here?
Yeah, just no, I can keep it going. But just leave and come back and see if that works. I can keep it on live.
All right, okay. Let me do that then.
You back out and join the link again. Oh, so me and Kammy are going to talk about putting down Muslims who don't seem very practicing. So when we look at Muslims and we think, oh, they're not practicing, when we're judgmental.
I'm back.
I can hear you. Let me just see if you come up on the radar. Yes, it's worked now.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's worked.
All right.
I'm doing that. Can everyone see Kammy? Put one if you can see Kammy. Speak, Kammy.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? One.
Alhamdulillah. So me and brother Kammy are going to speak about putting down Muslims who don't seem very practicing. So Kammy.
Yes.
Any good examples of what you've seen or you've done?
I think if I'm being honest, which is what I'm going to be, I think it's very, very easily done by, especially more so if you're practicing yourself, because then obviously you kind of like think that you've got this thing of being able to pass judgment on people that are not fasting on the day and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've done, like, for example, I've seen someone and evidently they're not fasting. So straight away I'm like, oh, look at that person not fasting.
Yeah. You become very judgmental, don't you? Your own self.
And I think, sadly, I think that's because of the times that we live in, where we seem to get like a piety high, if that makes sense. So like we'll think just because I'm practicing, I can like now I've got the torch to go and start cussing everyone else. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, when I first became Muslim, I was very judgmental. When you read about the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him.
Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, yeah.
Yeah, and then you go to the mosque and you expect that of people, and then when you've got them goggles on and that tunnel vision, then you start to become very judgmental, because that, even though you might not be doing it, you're not thinking that. You're just thinking, why aren't they doing it? Alhamdulillah.
And it's not only that. It's like when they're not doing it, you kind of like feel like they're like bearer of the torch of like cussing them in your brain or towards other people. Do you know what I mean? And which is also obviously like not a good way to be. Do you know what I mean? Because I think the day, like, but back then, obviously it was more out of ignorance. Do you know what I mean? Because like I didn't have that thing of, you know what, that brother's not fasting because you know he might be diabetic or he might have like TB, he might have you know, some other like on that day he might need to go to the hospital. Do you know what I mean? We didn't have that like kind of that like making a good excuse for your brother. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great example, that Cameron, to be fair.
Because like as well, like I remember I was reading some one time, and and someone said that if I seen my Muslim brother and he was drenched in alcohol, I would assume that someone spilled it on him.
Yeah,
Whereas like today we'd be like, oh my god, look at that, he's got like, you know, vodka all over his clothes and this and the other. Stuck for love, he's been clubbing and this and the other. Do you know what I mean? Um,
Alhamdulillah, it was. That's a good example. Yeah, so even if you can smell it, if you could smell it on somebody, you straight think that they're drinking or they're alcoholic.
yeah,
We don't assume the best of people. It's really
well, that brother might have kind of like intervened in like a fight between, you know, two alcoholics. Do you know what I mean? And he's like just kind of like broke up that fight, and like in that process, they spilled that on him. Do you know what I mean? But whereas us, obviously, you know, being judgy of unholy thou, we we kind of like think, oh my god, I stuck for lost, stuck for like, you know, like we kind of, you know, rather than just having. But it's not only that. It's like for a lot of things though. Do you know what I mean? Because like let's just say a sister's wearing a hijabi and like tight clothing, yeah. You don't know that that could have been the first day that she wore it, and she might not have had like that much knowledge to think, or if I'm doing something right or wrong. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how your mind works, because we've been socially conditioned to be judgmental, and the people around you, if they're judgmental, you kind of it rubs onto you. It rubbed onto me a lot when I first become Muslim. I was like, even though I'm stuck, I can still be judgmental now sometimes when I'm looking at people and I'm thinking, because sometimes you think, oh, if I'm doing it, you should be doing it. But all Muslims in the world are at different levels of what situation and what environment they live in. Do you agree with that, Kammy?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what it is, you got to bear in mind the fact that like from all over the world, you're a product of your environment,
Yeah,
and like for example, I don't know, let's just say I can give an example, like going back home, like in Pakistan, yeah, the way like their normal way of talking is like kind of like a rough and tough.
yeah,
So you could come across someone who's practicing, but the way that they talk naturally is just like rough and tough. It's like, what do you want? Go away, blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? But when on the other hand, like you could, for example, I don't know, let's just say Africa, for example, yeah, and they could be like very 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 nice, softly spoken.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And it's just like everyone is at a different level of like their understanding of religion, but not only that, it's like they're a product of their environment.
yeah,
Because like because if you go to some countries, right, like for example, I've got a lot of well, not a lot, but I know like some friends that are from America, yeah, and you know they like seem to know a lot about religion, but they will still, as Muslims, obviously, I'm not like naming and shaming them. I'm just like kind of giving a general example.
good example.
But like they like kind of still, you know, like go clubbing and drinking and stuff like that, even though they're Muslim, and like, even like, you know, take drugs and stuff like that. And I asked one of them, and he said, "Brother, look, that's it." But I asked him in like it was like in a judgmental way. I just kind of said to him, "I goes, look, bro, you know, you seem to know more about Islam than me, and why is it that you feel like that you still have to delve into all them sort of stuff?" And he just said to me, "Brother," he goes, "You know what? The simple answer I can give you is we're just a product of our environment." And he goes, "This is all that we know."
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And he goes, "Yeah, I know that Islam forbids it, but like some people kind of like see it as like not not a major problem.
Yeah. Yeah, there's many things that I don't see as a problem, but many Muslims see as a problem. That's only because of my social conditioning in there as well, and the environment that I've been around. But you know, you learn as you gradually go on. But I think we become quite judgmental when we can see something clearly. We only look at ourselves and think, oh, I can see it clearly. Why can't you see it clearly? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, go on.
So you could be at an high level of Islam and education, and then you're looking at people who you think are lower than you, and you're like, oh, and then you're putting them onto your level and expecting that sort of education or that sort of like way of thinking, and I've noticed that.
And obviously that's wrong because, like, at the end of the day, you know, like the person that's on the higher level, they should remember that at one point in their life that they were at that lower level.
This is exactly why we've got to keep reminding ourselves about who we are, humbling ourselves, reading the Quran and stuff like that.
And but what it is, I don't know. I think it's hard. Sometimes even when you try and make a good excuse for someone, because like let's just say age wise, for example, yeah, you like see a 40-year-old man doing something, yeah, like, you know, smoking or whatever, yeah, and like as a younger person, you think, oh my god, how is it as an older person that you don't know that smoking is wrong?
Yeah,
Sometimes that
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
do you get me? Like,
yeah,
you kind of think, oh well, how is it as like a 40-year-old man or, you know, woman or whatever that you don't know that that's not right? Do you know what I mean? So even that in itself can be that that in itself can be like, you know, all right, I got to be judgmental here. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. It's remembering your station and staying in your lane. That's the hardest part of this this guide to life is staying in your lane. Sometimes someone asks a question or says something silly, and because you know the answer to it, and you know what they're saying is a bit silly, you laugh sometimes. Not sometimes. I laugh, yeah, and I don't mean to. But then it
Yeah.
can be seen that you're mocking that person. That I'm trying to work on is not laugh when someone says something silly, because I used to say them silly things.
Yeah, and you probably do, and you probably still now and again might say a silly thing.
Yeah, I'm probably still saying silly things. Yeah. Uh,
But if we bring it back to the topic, yeah, which is pointing down Muslims who don't seem very practicing, yeah, we like kind of, you know, we'll do it by gender, yeah. So shall we do the first one? Shall we go with the females?
yeah, we'll start with females. Alhamdulillah. I mean,
Because
I think the females get it a lot worse than us brothers. They have it in their sister circles. They have it outside with the non-Muslims. They have it, and then they have it with family as well. It's hard for some sisters to get married, and all this that situations. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but yeah, we'll go with sisters. Alhamdulillah.
but but Isabai, we need to go into detail in it so that the people can kind of get a bit of an insight.
Yeah. Let's go into detail, but I meant on. I didn't want to change the topic when I said with the family and stuff. Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, we don't want to get backlash for speaking on the females.
My future
As
wife is in the stream, so don't forget to beat up Kammy.
I'm just saying, us both being non-females, we don't want to kind of get backlash for that, innit?
Yeah,
That's what I was saying. But now, what I was saying is like, because with them, it's more apparent if they're practicing or not. Like, obviously, if they're not, you know, wearing hijab, or if they are wearing hijab but they're not, you know, what someone might say, not wearing it properly, um, they get it bad. And the thing is, it's like I said, it's social conditioning, in it. We just want to throw judgment left, right, and center. But because I remember one time I was reading that you know what, there's a story of a sheikh. I'll send you later. Actually, what happened is this is very 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 relevant, and for me it was an eye opener. And there was this sheikh, yeah, and I mean like a bona fide scholar, not just like, you know, everyone that get called gets called a sheikh. Yeah. What happened is, he was on the plane, right?
Yeah.
And he was on the plane, and like he was with his like friend, and it was, I think it was approaching like Asr time or something, or like it was Maghrib time. And what happened is, the sheikh goes to that, the lad, or shall we go make our wudu and go pray at Asr, yeah? And the guy goes, you know what, I'm a bit tired on that, yeah. Why don't we just pray when we land? Because we're not far anyway. And then the sheikh, what happened is, the sheikh noticed that there was a woman sitting in like the next aisle, yeah, on the plane, and she wasn't covered. And what happened is, after about 10 minutes, she went to the toilet, came out, and she was fully covered, and she started praying. And then
Oh,
what happened is she went back to the toilet, got changed again, and then came back in like non-covered clothes.
alhamdulillah.
And the sheikh and the sheikh said to that guy, he goes, "Wow, look at that. We, like, are supposed to be like dais of the religion, and we're delaying our prayer. This woman who you wouldn't have thought is practicing or is even Muslim, she just got up, went to the toilet, did her wudu, got dressed, and came back and prayed." So he goes, "Come on, bloody get up, let's go pray." So then what happened is, afterwards, the sheikh advised, like, wept and said, "You know what, thank you very much. Yeah, you kind of like, encouraged me to pray." Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, it's all right, no worry, but don't worry about it." And then he just kind of like advised her, about, encouraged her to try and like kind of stay covered a bit more modestly all the time. Do you know what I mean? And she took the advice on board. But it just shows like how sometimes we might think a certain someone is not as practicing as us, but you never know that they could be close to Allah, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of my biggest. When I talk about the hijab, I always say it doesn't. I don't think the hijab is very important in Islam for a sister to wear. But if
Yeah,
she's not wearing it, I, we have to look at what level she may be at. She might be practicing fully, but she's not on the. She might be practicing when it comes to her prayers, but she might not be feeling comfortable with what this society that she's living in. So we always forget that this society is quite judgmental, and it's quite
tough.
it's tough for the sisters to wear the hijab. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all the sisters who do wear the hijab, and the ones that don't,
I
because
mean,
alhamdulillah. But with the hijab,
but
it needs to be. It needs to be worn from the art and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not worn forcefully or worn because for the society. Because sometimes in the past I've heard sisters say, "Oh, I wear it just because I'm Muslim, and not because there's no reason for it." And I'm like, yeah, but there's a good reason for the hijab. You're wearing it for your liberty, and many good reasons for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think if the sister don't feel like she's at that level where she can wear it, then inshallah, if she keeps praying, it's only going to lead her to wearing it. That's how I see it.
yeah, inshallah. But as well, like what it is, we got to bear in mind is that not all our shortcomings are apparent. Do you know what I mean? Like there's that saying in it. Don't judge someone just because they sin differently to you.
Yeah,
And that's something that obviously is quite, because what is, inshallah, my aim is in life, well, over the next, well, however long I live, is just to try and stay quiet about a situation. Do you know what I mean? Like whereas before, it's just like so, it's just so free for us to like kind of say stuff like, "Oh, check him out," or "Look at her," wearing hijab with like skinny jeans, or wearing hijab and like got makeup face and this and the other. But inshallah, my plan is to try and, for myself, is to be a person where just, what, I see it, I don't think anything of it, and more so I don't say anything about it.
yeah. That's how I try to look at it. She's our sister in Islam, and you know, it's at different levels, and just make dua that she'll get to that level where she starts wearing a hijab. But then there's another side to things. I've seen sisters who wear full hijab, full jilbab, and they're smoking and messing about, swearing and stuff like that. So you know, there's two sides to it, isn't there?
Yeah, but again, do you know what I mean?
What do you do? You've got to assume good of that sister.
Say again.
You've got to you've got to speak to that. You've got to still assume good of that sister. That's the way we talk.
Because you got to bear in mind, unless obviously it's someone that you see every day. If it's someone that you're just seeing, or like for the first time ever, might be, she might have heard a lecture last night, and even though she's smoking and whatnot, yeah, like obviously her attitude and stuff like that is not going to change overnight. But like she might want to feel like to start off with her outer appearance. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she start off with her outer appearance as opposed to like her inner one. So she's thinking, if I kind of put myself under, well, not under pressure, but if I set myself a target of changing my outer appearance, it'll encourage me to change my inner one as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah. We really do need to concentrate on our inner selves, spirituality, praying, and it's one of the examples of all the Sahaba, and is praying. And from praying, that's when good deeds become apparent and become normal to yourself. For me, I was socially conditioned to think many things that even down to alcohol was good for you and stuff like that. It's good to go out with the lads, and through praying and that, it's made me realise that it's not good for you. And reading it's not good for you. Alhamdulillah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide the sisters to see this and see that the hijab is very important. Inshallah.
Inshallah. What about the brothers, Chris? They might be feeling a bit left out.
The brothers are feeling left out. Of course, there will be. Moquette will be left out. Brother Issa is spot on. Moquette, Khan. Salam alaikum, everybody. So yeah, the brothers, with the brothers as well. Yeah, it's very important for us brothers not to become the Iran police. Going around and giving sisters lectures on how to live their life, but you're living your life how you want to live. I've seen many examples of brothers giving good dawah, but then and not keeping to that dawah that they're giving themselves. And it's one of the things that nearly made me go back to going to the pub and living in the life. I went through a stage where I was hanging about a brother and he was giving dawah to people, but he wasn't putting it into action. So that I thought, you know what, forget this. I'm going to end up going back to the pub and forget about this. Do you get what I mean? Not because I didn't believe. The belief's still always been there. It was because of what I was seeing, the hypocrisy and
puts you down, doesn't it? And
yeah.
well, if this person longer can't do it, how the hell am I going to do it?
Yeah, it was somewhat, but instead of going back to the pub, I decided to come away from that person, and I started to start reading and rather, alhamdulillah. What's your outtake on the brothers?
Side note, as a disclaimer, can we give a big shout out to me being the first Pakistani on the show?
Oh, alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. This is Brother Kammy. He is the first Pakistani on Come to Success. Alhamdulillah. Many brothers say that I don't have anyone other than white on the and my brother Kammy decided to be the first ever Pakistani of many Pakistanis that I would like to bring on this show. Alhamdulillah.
The best looking one.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, the best looking one. He's from the north, so he's in my good books. Alhamdulillah.
I'm only like 25 away from you, bro.
Yeah, we're not far from each other.
So going back to the topic, to the thingy, what was it? The brothers, yeah. But Chris, got a question for you. What there needs to be a fine line between haram police and advising someone. What would you say that is?
My example of someone in the Iran police is someone who's going around thinking they're the savior of the mosque. So like they're gonna save every single person in that mosque, and they're gonna, you know, if they see someone that's around, they're gonna swap it up straight away like it's a fly.
But mosque is a bit of a different environment because I suppose we can't really have any
environment then. Sorry, any even when you go out for food, we lack this this one of the sunnahs of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, is to tell people in private. And I think when you tell somebody something in front of people, for me, I'm not really a sensitive person, but it does really get to me. I don't like being ashamed. It makes me feel ashamed when people discuss what they've seen me do around in front of other people. So I tell brothers, if they're going to give me some advice or they're going to want to talk about something, tell me in privately, but just between me and you. Alhamdulillah. And yeah, do you get what I mean?
But what about I'm gonna put you on the fence here now, yeah? Or if that's the right word. But what about some things, do you agree, cannot necessarily be done privately? Sometimes that they might have to be done there and then.
Give me a scenario.
Give you some. Do you remember that scenario when we were in Birmingham and we were having that burger?
Yeah.
With a certain brother about going to a certain place.
Keep going. I don't know what you mean.
You remember when he went to pray somewhere and he said that we won't go into too much detail about it. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, do you think in that scenario you should have been a bit more private, or do you think there and then it was needed?
I needed to be a bit more private. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. I've learned a lot since.
But that is a two-way scenario, right? Because if you done it in private, yeah, you might not have been able to give enough like dalil as to why the brother as to why the brother shouldn't have done what he did. Whereas because you had like one or two other people with you to like kind of feed back with, maybe it kind of registered in his brain a bit more direct. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes like you see something wrong, but you need to address it maybe there and then with like another one or two people around you, because you know that something is wrong, but so you can act as like the person who's, you know, trying to stamp it out, but you don't have the know-how as to how to explain to that person what they're doing is wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah. There is certain scenarios that you need to have where you can sit down and everyone speak. You can say it in front of people, but there's many things that we should say in private, like many things that are quite private we should keep in private between one and one. So it might happen when we're together, but if later on you could message the person and just say, look brother, this is my sincerest advice, but what you did today was wrong, alhamdulillah. And I think, and then give the dalil or give the whatever you can to show that, you know, this is not the way of the Prophet. So and I think that's how we'll move forward and we'll learn, rather than one brother coming up to you and smashing you to bits.
Isabai, no one can smash you though. You're 2 inch.
Alhamdulillah. Jordan's in the chat. Ben's in the chat. So give him salams, kammy.
Assalamu alaikum. Jordan Wise.
Let me give. So Ben, Jordan, this is the first Pakistani on the panel. Alhamdulillah.
Is that the Jordan that you tried to put as your profile picture?
Alhamdulillah.
I don't know. Walaikum salam. Jordan, hope you well. Hope your Ramadan is going well. Hope to see you up north sometime. You and brother Martin. Big up the Pakistanis. Yeah, Jordan. Yeah, man. Big up the Pakistanis. Someone's asking, how about the American Ummah versus the UK Ummah? Which is more practicing? I don't know. Obviously, we can't. I mean, I already touched upon that earlier on, didn't I?
I've never been to America. I don't really know any American Muslims. I know. I went to Saudi with one American Muslim called Vince. Alhamdulillah, this guy is a very beautiful guy, mashallah. But I can't judge it on one person. So when we was in that crowd at Saudi, UK were the most practicing because there was 9 people from the UK and 1 from America. So UK win. Would you agree, Kammy?
He made an important comment, which was America, because it's got a bigger population. Because I think what is there about 2 million, 3 million Muslims in the UK. Obviously, I would expect America to have a lot more than that because the population is massive and they have a lot more kind of diversity. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of speakers and the scholars and stuff like that, they mainly seem to be within the UK that are a bit more well known, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously, Speaker's Corner is a lot more popular than anything else in America.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's a good point, Kammy, you've just made there. People are coming from America. People are coming from. Every time I go to Speaker's Corner, Kammy, I always meet someone from Emirates and from Dubai, or they've come to meet some of the brothers from Speaker's Corner. So, Muket, the answer to that, bro, is not in practicing. We're not saying we've got more, but we've got a bigger establishment when it comes to protecting the deen. Maybe you need that in United States of America.
People need to network with the people from the US.
Yeah, there's a channel called Muslim Matters. He's from the US. He does panels and stuff. I've been on the panel before. Jordan has, and alhamdulillah, they're good brothers. They talk about different topics as well. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Why is someone saying that Pakistani atheists?
Oh, because there's a guy called Pakistani Atheist from Leeds, Kammy, who comes in and he watches us all the time and he wants to meet up and stuff. And so, and his family's Muslim, but he's not Muslim. He left Islam, but inshallah he'll come back. Make dua. Big up Pakistanis, but I am bigging up Northerners. Alhamdulillah. Walaikum salam, Stevo, should say it right. America doesn't have Speaker's Corner. Yeah, you can't have, I don't think it would be very suitable in Speaker's Corner in America because, with the guns and stuff being legal and stuff, it's a very dangerous environment to put a Speaker's Corner there.
Why is Jordan cussing Northerners, man?
He always does. That people from South are really judgmental against us Northerners, and it comes in with the talk. You shouldn't be so judgmental against us Northerners, Jordan.
I think what it is, too many people have told him that he's a good-looking guy, but I think he needs to come back down to earth.
Yeah, I agree. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, let's just make dua for Jordan then. Now let's try to bring Jordan back to this way of living on earth, the northern way.
We'll have to wear matching salwar kameezes at Chris's wedding.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, that's because you're all the way down there, Jordan.
So yeah, let's go back to topic. Brothers, yeah. We're still on the brothers.
2-3 million Muslims here in America, but they are all scattered. But I truly believe you guys are more practicing. I take quality over quantity any day of the week. Muski, Mukit Khan, bye. I'm assuming that yeah, that is the case because obviously if you've got similar amount of population of Muslims, I would have thought America would have more. Chris, would you?
I thought America would have had over maybe 10 mil. We've got the same amount then. There's the same amount of Muslims here than there is in America. Alhamdulillah.
Oh, let me check. Nah, man, that can't be the case. Let me see. Google it, Chris. What does it say?
What does what say?
Google population of Muslims in America. It must be more than 2-3 million, man.
Yeah, you guys have Sheikh Hamza Yusuf. That's a good point. Alhamdulillah. Walaikum salam, Ali.
What is the Ali Zulfikar by? Assalamu alaikum.
Ali's a northerner as well, so you know.
Bro, you know what?
You can spell your posh.
There's 3.5 million Muslims in America.
3.5. Out. Soon. I'll... 1 minute, guys. Oh, my nephew.
Yeah, so there's 2.6 million Muslims in the UK and 3.5 in America. I would have thought there'd be a lot more than that.
Alhamdulillah, there's probably a few more that have become Muslim and not put on that. America doesn't have the same history of scholarship Islamic universities like the UK has. A lot of their Muslim population is made up of immigrants who are laymen. I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't want to answer that. Have you tried attending his school? I'm with. Bumped into.
I think you're talking about two
Muslims don't have no. Muslims don't have north or south divisions. It's just good banter brothers are having. Alhamdulillah, that's true. We don't have northern and we all love each other. Do you know what?
Yeah.
There's something that I always say, yeah, that a lot of my friends who are Muslim, we probably wouldn't even be friends if we weren't Muslim. So Islam brings people together a lot.
Like Chris, look, for example, yeah, when you said to me that you want to go to Brum, right?
Yeah.
I probably, if I'm being honest, if I didn't know you as a Muslim, I probably wouldn't want to take you anywhere. If I'm being totally honest, it's not nothing to do with anything else apart from that you're Muslim and I wanted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Bad mentality that though, you know, Kammy.
No, but I'm being honest. Like at the end of the day, like the reason.
Well, I was a part of the English Defence League, and I wanted to learn a bit about Islam. Would you take me then?
Yeah. No, because I find that a bit difficult because I think that obviously, I'm endangering myself, putting myself around someone who's part of the EDL wearing Arabic cap.
What about the guy who's playing with Toy?
Toy. Yeah. That's playing to get out of the room.
Yeah, so our advice is not to be too judgmental on people. Don't be too hard on people sometimes. Try to talk to them and understand their situation that they're in. We don't talk enough. I don't think. We don't talk about our situations enough with each other and what situation you're actually in.
You know, I was thinking earlier on, yeah, Chris, the best way to be with people is with every single person. Imagine that you need something from them. So obviously, when you need something from someone, you're always nice to them, aren't you?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's like bloody playing with your brain. That.
No, but I'm just saying, like for example, if someone is doing something or whatever, yeah, but you think, oh man, you know what, I need something from this person, you're naturally going to be nice to them, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
What about when you don't think that you need something, but you're still nice to people? What's that?
That's a bonus, isn't it?
Alhamdulillah. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. That's
Because I notice, yeah, not having a jab at people that work for charity and that, yeah. You know, like charity guys, they seem to be really, really nice people.
yeah, yeah.
And then that is because that they always thinking that they need something from someone.
That's a great example. That yeah. So when somebody comes up to you in town, in the city centre, they want you to buy something. They're so nice to you. You know what I mean?
And they, they try and sell themselves and their product and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great example. Yeah. So try to think that you're a charity worker every time you speak to one of the brothers or the sisters in the masjid. Is that the good advice, Cam?
That's a good advice. Isa, where did you get your hat? I want the one that says Iqra on it.
My future wife got it. So I don't know where she got it from.
If I'm not mistaken, I think so. It's a website called izaha.com. IZAH.
No, is it? I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Because that's where I got my.
Walaikum salam, go live. Yeah, so basically, when it comes to looking at yourself and stuff like that.
I just want to make a disclaimer. Someone saying we should have good character, Muslims and non-Muslims. I believe Isa has a good
Yeah,
point.
that's what I was reading. But our character is very important as a Muslim.
No. What is? I just wanted to throw this in there. Is the fact that I'm always nice to everyone. Well, like I'm good with everyone.
Yeah, so yeah.
But what? Yeah. The point I was trying to highlight was.
No, you made a really good point. It's
obviously we went on a long journey, didn't we? We went on a trip.
Yeah.
I was saying that the reason it wasn't obviously like even if another Muslim brother who's like Pakistani, black, whatever, they said to me, "Oh, I want to come along." That the fact that you're Muslim and that's the attachment that we have is more the reason that we went.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
That's the point. By the way.
Yeah, I think before I was Muslim, I'd have been going to Green Lane Masjid with two Pakistanis. Do you know what? Believe it or not, Kammy, before I was Muslim, when I was marching with the English Defence League, I had two Pakistani friends. Yeah. And I didn't know they were Muslim because I used to go nightclubbing with them, and I just thought they were maybe a different Sikh or something like that, or Indians. And I went nightclubbing with them, and then I went to this janaza in my local area, and I seen them. And you'd think it was them who said to me, "What are you doing in the mosque?" But it was me who said to them, "What are you doing in the mosque?" Alhamdulillah. And they said, "Oh, we're Muslim." I went, "You're Muslim all along."
That's crazy because I remember I was reading this thing. There was a guy in America who had a store, right? Like a bit like a superstore, right? And he had like about 7-8 Muslims working for him.
Yeah.
But he was the guy that owned the store. He was non-Muslim at the time, and then Alhamdulillah, Allah guided him to Islam, right? And on every Friday, definitely he was like, "Why are you guys still here?" They're like, he's like, "Why are you not at mosque?" So he forced them to take time off to go to masjid for Jummah, as well as allocating them like normal times to pray. And he's like, "You've been working here 6-7 years and you've never been to Jummah once. Make sure you go today."
Wow, subhanallah, subhanallah. Do you think that's? Do you think that can be shyness from some Muslims, scared to ask?
I think so, yeah. But the thing is, there's the other thing of if you don't ask, you don't know, innit?
Yeah, but some people are not like that. I've noticed this with the local Muslims where I live. I've noticed they're not approachable. They're very reserved, and they're within themselves. And so I can imagine them sort of people don't open out as much as someone like I would. Whereas I'm a really open person and really outgoing, and And so it must be sometimes hard for people who are quite reserved from social.
But I don't think it's necessarily reserved as a person. I think it's more like kind of reserved as in religion, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like maybe they fear someone knowing that they're practicing.
yeah,
Do you get me? Which is more like kind of, that's why Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu said that I fear the day that the the disbelievers are proud and the Muslims are ashamed.
alhamdulillah, that strikes you, that, doesn't it? That's just that strikes you, doesn't it?
That's it. And it's common in it, like people start shaving their beards and start shortening their names, and they start do they they try and be like someone that they're not. But what can you do in it? It's a time that we live in, and obviously, again, it's tough for Muslims, especially if they're like kind of in a work environment where they're like the only Muslim there, or one or few Muslims there, or if they're in an area where there's not many Muslims at all, so they're kind of like definitely a minority.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, that's a good example. That about we will be ashamed of Islam, and the non-Muslims will be proud of
Whatever they believe in.
Yeah, that really is quite. It strikes you, doesn't it? Stuff like that really does just strike you because you can see it in front of your eyes. There's many things that I've seen, what I've read from the Prophet that I'm seeing in front of my eyes.
And yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's prevalent in our times now. We see it.
Do you know when you read the Quran, Kammy, does it relate to what's happening around your social life at that time?
Yeah, it still does. Every day, like what it is, as time goes on, nothing shocks me.
Yeah, I basically I was thinking about something last week. Yeah, I was thinking about if somebody lent someone money and
Yeah.
so what's the process in Islam? So I was reading the Quran, and in Al Baqarah, one of the last verses, it tells you exactly what to do. And I was like, alhamdulillah, that's just answered my question for me in the Quran. And I was like, you were crazy, alhamdulillah, this is the crazy how I was seeing it. And I was like, yeah, he answered it. He just answered it perfectly. Like, it makes sense how you would do.
Why? Because does someone owe you 10, 20 grand or something?
No, if they owed me 20 grand and I hadn't written down like the Quran said, I couldn't get it back, could I? So we messed up.
Or if they died?
No, just because I hadn't wrote a contract. Because in Islam, in Surah Al Baqarah, it tells you that you should do a contract between yourselves. So you should write down.
Yeah.
If I already borrowed 10 grand off somebody, I wouldn't have done that contract, so I would have lost the money. If that person. If they borrowed it off me, I mean, or I get. They won't be sincere, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously with like big amounts, I think you need witnesses as well, like to witness the exchange and the agreement and stuff like that, just so that you got someone to kind of go back onto.
But if you know each other, it's okay to do it between yourselves. If it's only a little amount, as well.
So what about 10 grand? Is that a little amount or a big amount?
It's not 10 grand's something that you'd have to have witnesses for, of course. Important, but I mean, if it's just a few £100, you can do it between yourselves. Alhamdulillah. Which it's not something I want. I'm not trying to loan any money off anyone or anything. It's just sometimes some people, some things come to your head and you want to know about them, and that's it. But that's the way I've been since I become Muslim. Things come in my head. I think, and I just think sometimes reflect, and I think, I wonder what you do in Islam for this. I wonder what you do in Islam for that. But then when the Quran answers it, man, it makes it even more one better. Everybody like and subscribe. KMTV official. My brother, Issa and Ben and Jordan down to collective. They'll soon pay back. I'll send the 2 people who've disliked my video today. Alhamdulillah. I'll send them over.
Chris, on the side now, how's your Ramadan going? Speaking of Ramadan.
Alhamdulillah. I'm really enjoying it, to be honest, Kammy. It's I went just before Ramadan. My imam was quite low. We was meant to meet up a few times, but my imam was just a bit shaky. You know what I mean? And so we ended up when Ramadan come. I was so excited, and alhamdulillah, I'm not even struggling. I'm not even struggling with the fast. Alhamdulillah, it's all from the grace of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. You get what I mean? What about yourself, Kammy? You've been doing it many years now. What's one of the differences of this Ramadan for you?
Too blessed to be stressed, living the dream and the deen in it.
It's still the quote, bro. That's gonna be on my T-shirt.
No, this one is different. Because what it is, I think obviously my character since the last one, I've tried to improve. Do you know what I mean? And like this Ramadan, I'm just trying to be like focused on just improving myself.
Yeah.
And like, because sometimes I think what like last Ramadan, I was trying to encourage like kind of friends and stuff like that to be better and stuff, which is obviously not a bad thing. But then like sometimes you focuses on that too much.
Yeah, you lose yourself, then you start becoming like that.
And it's not. Yeah, I mean, I didn't lose myself like per se, but it was more like kind of, oh wow, I can't believe I wasted my time doing that, and like, you know, it's not a bad thing, but then you realize that Ramadan is more like, you know, you in that 1 month you need personal training, and you know, personal training as in like for yourself.
How I see Ramadan, me, Kammy, is that, you know, you slack that for my example is that I slacked a bit. You know, maybe times of prayer were slacking, and then Ramadan comes and it puts it, but you puts it all the way back. So no matter how much bad you've done or how much sin you've done, Ramadan always brings you back to where you was at the start of the last Ramadan. And I think over the year, gradually, you do fall short, and Ramadan always just brings you back to starting that year. So for me, it's like the start of the year for me, Ramadan. It's like the start of everything. But this year, I had 2 Amman boosters. I went to Saudi, I went to Umrah, and that really did boost my Amman. So this year, I wasn't as bad as I would have been the year prior. Do you get what I mean?
So great. How come is it that we're like almost halfway through Ramadan and we still haven't linked up for iftar yet?
Well, this is the thing. Do you know what? I've only spent 2 iftars with people. I'm really. No one's messaged me. No one's texted me, and I've texted people. But do you know what? Alhamdulillah.
But you don't text me though, have you?
We are going to meet up, inshallah. Me and Kammy are going to meet up soon, inshallah, for something that we're planning on doing. Do you want to talk about
it? No, inshallah, we'll talk about it another time, because
okay.
Because then I might deter off into that, and I don't want to do that. I just want to see if anyone has anything. How's the appetite? Mine is low. Soon as I have my day, appetite disappears.
This is true. Do you know what? Yeah, last night I broke my fast with a date and a water, and then I prayed, and I was like, I'm not even hungry.
Chris, I'm pretty bad for that, you know.
So from 6 o'clock is my struggle. 6 o'clock is from till breaking fast. I'm like, oh, I'm so starving. I'm so thirsty. Oh man, and then it comes. I eat the date and drink a little bit of water. I pray, and I'm like, oh, I'm not even that hungry now. And it makes no sense, does it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty same. Like yesterday, I had like 7 slices of pizza, some onion bhajis, some kebabs, Krispy Kreme donut, mock, 2 cans of Coke, and some ras malai. And yeah, I wasn't hungry, man.
Alhamdulillah. That ras malai is what I had last week with brother Jordan from Leeds. You know.
Oh, the one that came with you, corner.
Yeah. He brought some round. Is it got nuts in it and cheese and
cheese dumplings?
Yeah, it's really nice, that stuff, man. But do you know what, man? I'll have to book myself in for hospital. Have an heart attack on that stuff.
Well, it's nice, isn't it?
It's a once a month treat. That's all that is. I don't know anyone who can eat that every day.
Oh, I could eat. Well, I used to be able to eat every day, but speaking of Ramadan, yeah, shall I tell you what I'm really bad doing? Usually at this time, yeah, I'm watching YouTube videos on like kind of cooking recipes and stuff. I just my household.
I've watched a lot because I don't know. I've been watching this woman in India cooking, a man cooking, and they're cooking in the wilderness. I was watching this other guy. He was cooking. He goes around the world, and he went to Oman. It was quite good.
Are you talking about Mark Wiens or Food Ranger?
I don't know. He went to.
Like some of these food review guys,
Yeah.
Some of these food review guys, I don't like them because I feel like that they're too fake. Like every time they put something in their mouth, they're like, "Oh my god, such flavor." And I think to myself, "Come on, like not everything could be that nice. You can just be honest and be like, yeah, you know what, that was a bit rubbish." I mean, I would appreciate the honesty.
I watch a guy from Leicester called Blue Van Man, and he does food reviews, and it's funny. His food reviews are funny.
Is he British?
Yeah, British.
I'm gonna, you know what, Insha, I'm gonna start doing food reviews. You know
what? Some viewers, I'm trying to keep losing weight, so I can't do food reviews.
No, you be the camera guy.
yeah. Alhamdulillah. We all do the same stuff. Oh no, we're human beings. Go live. Alhamdulillah.
We all do the same stuff. Street food is banging. That's what I've been mainly watching. The samosa charts, I was watching the mutton ghost.
He called Granger who went to Oman, yeah, and he said something in car like, "Oh, it's like Christmas," and he was eating this wrap with crisp in it, and he went, "Oh, it's like Christmas," and he went, "Oh, is that offensive? What do I meant to say? It's like Ramadan." And then he was like, "No, Eid," and he went, "Oh, did I say how offensive? Can it be in the video?" That's I watched that yesterday actually, but because there's no coming out of Speaker's Corner right now.
So Chris, either
I can't hear you, Kammy. Are you there, Kammy?
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I can hear you. Are you back?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. What are your plans for?
Do you know what, Kammy? I've got no plans, my friend.
Why not?
I've got no friends.
Oh, bless you. And yeah.
No.
Oh, well, you'll have to get Jordan coming from Thingy.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think we've digressed a little bit from the topic, putting down Muslims who don't seem very practicing.
No, we've done quite a bit. We dwelled into it a bit, but let's go back into it if you want. This is what it's all about: relaxing, talking, and this is what we do. Mainly just talk. Sometimes we'll go off topic, and then we come back to topic, and it works out well.
Can anyone viewing ask a question so we can kind of like discuss it? Obviously, we're not like scholars, so don't ask us anything like fatwa related or anything like that. Islam QA is the one for that.
Yeah, I use that quite a bit actually. Yeah, so basically the topic was on putting down Muslims who don't seem very practicing. But in that title, we're being quite judgmental. Would you agree?
About what?
Who don't seem very practicing. What do we mean by that? Elaborate on that one, eh?
Valid point. No, I mean, we mentioned it when we were discussing. Like, for example, when you think practicing of a female, you kind of think by a hijab, jilbab, maybe even niqab. Yeah. So when you think non-practicing, you kind of think a woman that's not like that. And
you put it as an all.
Say again.
You look at it as an all rather than looking at it with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like the title is what we are as people. Like we put Muslims down who don't to us seem practicing.
Yeah.
Do you get me? And like same with like men, you know, they might be like kind of smoking, don't have beards, they might even have tattoos, they might even have an earring, but you know they just come onto Islam and that, yeah. But it's easily done, I think.
There's a lot of people that there's a lot of people that are coming back to practicing. So expecting one sister to come back practicing and straight put on the burqa, the niqab, is a not a good way to think about. We have to give the sister time so she can build up an iman through praying, salat, and then move on from there. Then move on and then she'll want to put the hijab on for the right reasons and not just put it on for the sake of people. She won't just, and then she, alhamdulillah, another. That's the way I can explain that.
The brother asked a question. Do you ever struggle with your beard, Chris?
Yeah, sometimes I'm eating and my beard's going in my mouth.
that was my joke, man. Like I save a bit of fish and chips in here for a bit later.
Yeah. Do you know my mum at Christmas? Yeah, she wanted to buy me Christmas, ball things for the for the beard, and I went, Mum, you can't do that.
But no, in all seriousness, I don't struggle with it. Alhamdulillah. I try. Like the thing is, you gotta bear in mind, right? I'm just gonna drop. Abu Tijana, bar karo mara putra. Bar karo. Sunay off karo. Book band karo. Go. Is the fact that, right? The beard is an order from the Creator. Right? The beard is the order from the Creator. So therefore, if the Creator has ordered you to do it, you shouldn't find it difficult amongst the created.
Alhamdulillah.
Do you know what I mean? In terms of job, if it's because of your beard you don't get a job, then it's better for you not to get that job.
What I'd say to that is that we came as strangers, we'll go as strangers. Got glad tidings to the strangers. So keep your beard, guys.
That's it. Keep your beard, and inshallah, if you sacrifice something for Allah, He'll replace that with something a lot better.
Glad tidings to the strangers with the beards. Alhamdulillah. Let's move on from the beard topic anyway. I think it's been great. Go Live made a big good point. Really, I need to stop judging people in my brain. I think that's the once you're socially conditioned, it's hard to take that sort of thing out of your brain.
So someone asked another question. What was it? How to bring the Muslim Ummah back together? I think that's a bit out of my depth. I don't really want to answer that. But I would say generally, how to bring the Ummah back together is if the Ummah go back to Islam.
Yeah, coming back to Islam. That's what I would have said.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, me and Chris are only on this live because of Islam. Otherwise, I wouldn't know this guy.
Yeah, we wouldn't really take much notice in what each of us doing. Yeah, so one of the most important things to do to bring the Ummah back together is forget about all this small little niggly stuff that people are arguing about, this nonsense that I see all the time, and come together and unite up on what we believe. We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as one, and we believe that all the prophets, and we believe that Muhammad is the last prophet of Allah. So that's it. If we come back up on Tawheed and we come on and we just keep that on our tongues, and alhamdulillah, we'll be fine. Yeah, we might not agree on upon little things like the beard being short or the beard being too long, or there's differences of opinion in these little segments, but we shouldn't use them against each other. We should come to understand why, rather than saying that's wrong, we should come to understand why that person has that difference of opinion and what the strongest opinion is to take. Alhamdulillah.
Go live media. When you live like 15-20 years with that one, then you grow on and you got used to it. Be open to genuinely making friends with people and getting personal with them. And also, if as an ummah we followed the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, which says, "Love for your brother what you love for yourself," then we would be in a lot better position.
Yeah, I think that's something that we all lack on that, really. So you're so happy, you're so happy for yourself, but you don't think of it. It's hard sometimes to think about other people. You're too busy thinking about in your own little world, about your own self.
Because you know what? One time I was reading, Chris always got stories, haven't me?
This is good, bro. Good stories, bro. Bring them.
And that what happened was, there was a brother. He had a shop, right? And what happened is he noticed, like, literally across the road,
yeah,
another brother had opened the exact same shop. And what happened is the brother who already had the shop there, he had 4 workers, and the brother across, he only had 1 worker. And so what happened is the brother with the 4 workers, he sent one of his workers to that shop. And what happened is the guy that opened the shop knew. He said, like, he told him, "Wait a minute, why is he sending this guy to come and help me?" And because what it was, when that guy opened the shop, he was hoping that he'd put that guy out of business.
Yeah.
But what happened is he felt really bad, and he went up to that brother afterwards, and he goes, "Look, he goes, I'm be honest with you, why did you send your worker over to me when you knew I was struggling, knowing that I'm your direct competition?" And you know what? He turned around and said, "You know what? I love for my brother what I love for myself. So whatever's written for you is written for you, and whatever's written for me is written for me. And that's why I sent that worker over to help you out, because I knew you were struggling, and I didn't want you to struggle."
Yeah, alhamdulillah, that's a good point. That really good point. Yeah, it is. That's a time in not far, but I'm going to end the stream about our past if that's okay with you. Coming on, inshallah, we're another 15 minutes.
I think shall we end it in a couple of minutes, because it gives us enough time to make wudu and go to the masjid.
If you want to, if you're going to the masjid, then.
Yeah, because I just want to go there a bit early. Red Pill Society, I'm not too sure, because I remember a sheikh was narrating the story. I think it was in America somewhere.
Why not pray and come back? Alhamdulillah, that's a good point. I think Cammy's going to the masjid. I'm staying at home because I've got to put some food in for my nephew, and alhamdulillah.
Yeah, and then inshallah I want to utilize the time after Asr to read
the Quran, and alhamdulillah.
But yeah, my channel is KMTV Official. I think I've commented on it a couple of times. That's my channel, guys.
Yeah, please like and subscribe, Mr. KMTV. Is it KMTV Official? He's done some vlogs of Speaker's Corner and stuff. Actually, Cammy's has come into some of the talks at Speaker's Corner. You won't know who he is because he comes in and he bats the person at that park and then walks off. What about the guy with the red hat? What's he called? The guy who's not even British, but wants to make Britain back British again.
Rat Boy? No, that's not Rat Boy.
Red Cat Boy.
Red Cat Boy. Yeah, I don't know. They all got weird names, man. But yeah, I'm always at Speaker's Corner.
Oh, I'm a cat boy today.
Huh?
I'm a red cat boy. Go live subscribed. Alhamdulillah.
What's it called? Yeah, no, that guy. Yeah, no, that guy would tee me off. You was there. Were you there when you were talking nonsense?
No, I just seen it on Facebook and I was like, yes. Just post your channel in the chat. Walaikum salam, my art world. How are you, bro? Alhamdulillah. Yeah, so it's been what's the channel? Everyone's asked. There you go. KMTV official is Kammy's channel. He's done quite a few vlogs, and there's going to be, inshallah, in the next couple of months, there's going to be something from me, Kammy, coming up. Inshallah, coming soon, innit?
The Chris and Cam collaboration.
Yes, there's going to be a Chris and Kammy show coming up. Alhamdulillah. A few.
Chris, what do you like being called, Chris or Issa?
I don't mind. I don't mind. Really don't.
Oh, you know who I bumped into a few weeks ago. You remember that guy who's a rugby player that you shared some about his wife or something?
Yeah, Keith. Yeah, Keith.
Yeah, I bumped into him in Asda.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that the woman that is married to, she's from Halifax.
Yeah, no, he's from Dewsbury.
Yeah, no, he's a big stocky guy, isn't he?
Yeah, did you speak to him?
Yeah, no, I said to him, I goes, oh, what a small world. I goes, a friend of mine shared some about you, and he was like, oh yeah. He goes to me, oh yeah, send me friend request, and I'll add you. And I was like, nah, I'm good, thanks.
So carry you.
He goes to me, send me a friend request, and I'll add you. And I was like, I'll let you know there. But I goes, oh, you know what? I goes, I don't even know your name or anything like that. And he's like, oh, he probably added me from my rugby days or something, or like knows I play rugby.
Yeah, Kammy. If you want to do a different topic next week, I'm more than happy to. I think we didn't go into too much detail, but we covered a lot that needed covering.
We can let the people decide, innit? Guys, just as a disclaimer again, obviously we just talk about contemporary issues that we can talk about. We don't talk about anything that's out of our depth. So we don't, we're just like normal people. Do you know what I mean? We're just normal Muslims that pray and struggle and try to do our best.
We're not. We're not.
That's only because I'm trying to look dapper for Jummah and that, yeah. So don't take us as like scholars or imams or But obviously, if you ever need any advice or whatever, you can message us.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
I just had to throw that in there, innit? Because the flip side of the judgmental thing is that people think that because you got a beard, because you got this and the other, that you're really, really pious.
Yeah, that's another topic, that one.
So maybe that next week, or we can do it tomorrow. Or no, actually, wait a minute. What is it tomorrow? Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, whatever. We can squeeze it in. Like 3 o'clock is usually a good time. 3, 4 is usually a good time. Guys, what do you think?
There's no football now, so yeah.
Yeah, right. We'll wrap it up now because Chris is picking his nose. But yeah, Chris, bye. I'm gonna let you get off. Guys, red pill, come live, whatever. Assalamu alaikum. My Asr time notification has come through. So I'm gonna bounce and go pray, inshallah.
Right, Kammy, Jazakallah khair for coming on.
Barakallah feekum. Thanks for having me, bro.
Inshallah, we'll talk about another topic for tomorrow or Sunday or Monday or whenever you're free, bro, because I really enjoyed it. It was quite productive to talk, actually.
Yeah.
We didn't go into too much detail, but we can probably elaborate on more stuff.
Touch the surface, innit? Just touching the surface is fine.
Just touch the surface. So, yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Take care, Chris. I'll speak to you soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, bro. So it's just me. It's just me and you. Assalamu alaikum. It's just me and you guys. So yeah, I really enjoyed that conversation with Kammy. I've known Kammy for a year now, and alhamdulillah, me and him we're like two peas in a pod when it comes to having a laugh. And Kammy really understands my sense of humour. So alhamdulillah, we got on really well. Me and Kammy are going to be making a few short videos together of some of the struggles that we go through as Muslims. Alhamdulillah, which is something that we've been looking into. But I dipped in Oman. Oman dipped just before Ramadan when I was going to do it, and then we ended up not doing it. So alhamdulillah, after Ramadan, I will get in touch with Kammy, and we'll have something on his channel. Ben, would you come and jump on, bro? Alhamdulillah. Let me just send Ben. Ben's going to jump on. Might as well carry on the show. If I'm on already, I feel okay. Let me just send Ben. So we've got Ben coming on. The one thing that I will say, lads, is that I need to pray. Alhamdulillah. It's Asr time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to carry on going. I'm going to carry on live streaming.
Sorry, but I just finished shopping. I was like, you know, I'll walk home instead, and I'll be on the chat. Just come outside. It's raining, so give us 10 minutes.
So we all heard Ben there. He wants 10 minutes. No, I don't think I've ever blocked Bird Nest Rap Fest. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go pray, then I'm going to come back. So alhamdulillah, stay tuned. Actually, if you need to pray, walaikum salam, Ben.
It's raining.
Alhamdulillah.
Do you know what? So I was just finished shopping. I thought I'll pop on. I'll just walk home. But to be honest, bro, I'll pop on in. Like I'm gonna get the bus. I'm not gonna talk on the bus. I'll get set up home and everything. Keep them talking for 10 minutes, and I'll pop on. Do you reckon you can do that, or?
So say that again. You're gonna go home.
Yeah. So I'm gonna hang up now and go on the bus home. 10 minutes, and then I'll be on. I just don't want to talk on the bus. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to go pray, then I'm going to come back on, and then we'll have a nice discussion.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
Assalamu alaikum. So Ben's coming on, guys. I'm going to go pray now. Inshallah that you'll still be here when I get back, or you're praying. And then we'll have a good discussion with my man Benjimano, and we'll talk about something else, a different topic. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. I'm back. Alhamdulillah. So, I don't remember Bird Nest Rat Fest being a troll or doing anything wrong, Ben. Was that a mistake, bro? Alhamdulillah. My heart world. Alhamdulillah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum.
How's so I watched back at the video of me on my phone. It was really bad quality. How's the sound now when there's no camera? Is it all good?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool, man. So I'm still outside, but I'm walking now.
So
I
what?
like walking. I prefer it.
You id Bird Nest Rat Fest. It's not the best name.
Oh, it was an accident.
Oh, it was.
It was an accident, and then I tried to undo it, but all this stuff was gone because it refreshed, so I couldn't do anything. So I'm glad you came back and did it. Sorry about that.
I'm thinking, you haven't done all wrong. What's Mr. Click Happy doing with his bullets? Huh?
Just in case, you never know.
No, he did send a message. Oh,
say that again, mate. Cutting off.
He sent a message saying, "Oh, what's that?" Sounds like you're on an airplane or in a jet or something.
Sorry, man. It's because I'm on the street. I might just mute and then come back in a bit when I'm indoors, and then it'll be better. All right. Sorry about that, bro. Salam alaikum. See you in a bit.
Walaikum salam. So, Mr. Ben Ikra, alhamdulillah, may Allah bless my good brother Ben Ikra. I don't know what topic he's going to bring with him, but alhamdulillah, he's always got something interesting to speak about. So, I'm back. So I really enjoyed that talk with kammy, and I'm going to try to do some more with kammy. Some more different little topics that we can speak about, which has got no involved these. Sorry, no involves that fatwa. Sorry, I can't even say it. No, that involves a fatwa, and no involves that many issues. Just issues. Social. We'll try to keep it on social issues, social concerns. Has your situation at the masjid improved? Bro, it's just always going to be the same. I've been living in this house now for 2 years, and it's always been the same. It's never changed. I've never seen something that I thought, wow, alhamdulillah, that's good that it's changing. But we've got to be patient, and we've just got to keep going and got to keep trying. Alhamdulillah. It is what it is. The masjid is just a place to go and pray. Sometimes, as myself, I need to remind myself that it's just a place. It's just a place to remind myself of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because when you come from my background, being a social being of the environment that I lived in, there's many times that I wake up on a Friday thinking I'm getting up to go partying, because that's how my brain was for many years. So from when I was 16 till I become Muslim, every Friday night I would have been out partying on Saturday. So my brain was tuned to believe, to think that Friday is all about partying. So still, even sometimes, even now, I struggle with waking up on a Friday thinking it's time to go party when it's time for Jummah. Alhamdulillah. This is some of the struggles that you have to face because of the social conditioning you went through. Maybe it can take 10 years, 20 years before this actually leaves your brain. I don't know. Alhamdulillah. But all I know is I'm in a better place now, and I wouldn't change this station for any other station. I'll stay strong as a Muslim, whether whether people like it or they don't like it, whether people are friends with me or not friends with me. At first, it was a struggle. At first, it was a very, very big struggle, losing friends and people looking at me as an outcast and losing my white privilege, you know. I'm only joking about that statement. You do lose some sort of like connection with the British people. They look at, not all British people are the same, but some British people look at you as if you're not British anymore because you become Muslim, unfortunately. They look at you as a. I had many people asking me if do I eat curry now? Do I all this sort of stuff. So people automatically, even, and I've had some of my British friends saying to me, speaking to me in an Urdu language, as like I've just become Pakistani. So what I've done, yeah, what they must be thinking in their heads is that I've gone to the mosque, and I've converted into a Pakistani. Alhamdulillah. You know, this is what the mentality is, and I understand where they're coming from, because I thought the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, was a Pakistani, and it's just yeah. So Yusra has been through the same situation. Yusra's a white Moroccan. The actual Muslims actually think she's a revert, but she's actually a born Muslim because she's white. So it's racially racially framing someone to be a Muslim. You've got to be have brown skin.
And I'm back.
How are you going?
You're right, bro. So I just had to go to work today, like on my day off, and then I thought, instead of going home, I might just nip to the shop and get myself some treats for iftar. Got myself some Pepsi, got some spring rolls, got a load of snacks basically. So I missed a lot of that. I didn't even the chat you had earlier because I didn't realise you were on. So yeah. What happened? So I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to ask you to retell what you talked about. But what sort of thing was the theme?
We was so the subject with kammy was we don't seem very practicing with kammy. So Muslims, like sisters not wearing the hijab, sisters maybe do it in through Ramadan.
You're cutting off of there, mate. I don't know if it was me or you.
No, you're making some right noise. What are you doing?
Is it me? Oh, sorry. I'm putting the shopping away. Just normal life, mate. I can't sit at the computer all day.
Yeah,
2 seconds. 2 seconds, and I'll sit down and I'll concentrate on you guys. Sorry.
I accidentally hid Pakistani atheist. That means you're a kafar. I'm a kafar. In what? What do you mean by that? Let's see if you're trolling or you're being serious. I don't know. There's no takfiring in this channel, so I'll remove that anyway. I shouldn't have even answered that. Why did I answer that? We're not having that. Guy. Walaikum salam.
Get rid of him.
Ben, you back, bro? Alhamdulillah. I'm just trying to see if I've got a few trolls within the.
Of course you have. They get smarter. They adapt.
Don't go too hard on that LA 111. I don't even know what they were saying. I have to see the next message before I give punishments. 2 messages you get, trolls. This college.
If it's trolls you know about, though.
Oh, that's not that kind's not a trolling, but I'm not interested in that sort of conversation. Abuse.
Yeah, so never mind. Let's talk about something positive.
Get off that subject, please. If not, I'll block you. Have you seen any of the funny Ramadan skits on YouTube? Not really, no. Actually, that's a good point to make. The Ramadan's good. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam, Joko.
It made me laugh when you're talking about getting starving at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because like every 6 o'clock, it's like, because when we first started fasting, it was like just coming up to 8 o'clock would be breaking fast. Now it's close to 9. So when it's 6, I'm like, yeah, it's not long. Oh, it is. It's like 3 hours away.
So on Facebook about 3 days ago, someone put on a meme mocking Muslims who don't practice, and then when it comes to Ramadan, they practice.
Brilliant.
But basically, my point of view on that is it's not that they don't practice; it's that they're struggling, and then Ramadan brings them back to practicing. I don't see a bad thing in that. I just think it's very judgmental.
It's a wrong mentality to have.
And
if you see Islam or being Muslim, it's being a part of a club or a cool group where you have to stick by these rules to stick with us. Then that's a different matter. But if you think of Islam as the connection between your creator, and your connection gets stronger by obeying his laws, and then you know what I mean, that's the difference. So if you got someone seeing, if a woman, for example, doesn't wear the hijab, and then you see her on Ramadan she's wearing the hijab, and then that person judges that person, what's their real intention by doing that? And I don't think it's because they're angry that someone else is disobeying Allah. It's because that person's not properly doing the rules of our club, of our social circle.
But that's the wrong mentality to have.
Yeah, that is the wrong mentality. But yeah, it's an oxymoron, because it's someone having a go at someone else not practicing when the action they're doing isn't part of Islam.
I've had many stories of sisters who come back practicing at Ramadan, put the hijab back on, and because of the sisters were saying stuff at them at the mosque, and making sly comments, they ended up taking the headscarf back off. Alhamdulillah, you know.
Mental.
There's so many things that you could do with words that can affect people. That you know, we really do as an ummah. We need to concentrate on ourselves and what we say and why we're saying it. Yeah, it's all right to have a laugh and a joke, but sometimes it's best. Some things are better off unsaid. And if you feel like you're judging someone, you're better off being quiet. The Prophet ﷺ said spoke about the tongues and stuff. It's better to be silent than speak too much. You know, so. Sometimes you're just best off not even giving the advice that you want to give, because that advice could even push them even more away. Rather than show them in action, show them the way, lead them down that path. Don't lead them down a path that, because you have this ego inside you that you think, oh, you're on the deen, you're this big massive Muslim now because you pray 5 times a day, because that's not exactly going to be exactly the reason. You know, you might go to Jannah. You have to work hard. So what I've been thinking.
You should be like, if you see someone and it makes you feel, without even thinking, a negative thing about them because they started practicing, you really need to stop, pause, and actually act on the opposite of what you're feeling. So if you see someone starting to wear the hijab, instead of going, or like with your mates going, she's wearing the hijab now, that's going to come off at the end of the month. Instead of doing that, you should say, Assalamu alaikum, how are you doing? Oh, mashallah, you're wearing hijab now. Oh, do you want to join us? Yeah. That's what I would imagine to do in that situation, not the opposite.
I think Kammy made a really good point. Pretend to be a charity worker every time.
Yeah, that was a really good point. Like, that's how I do it anyway, because in retail. So
every time you meet someone, pretend you're at work in retail, or pretend to be a charity worker, whether you like that person or you don't like that person. When that person said something about you, be the bigger person, and them good deeds will come to you. But when somebody speaks bad of you, then good deeds come to you. So you treat them with kindness. Even more good deeds are coming your way. Alhamdulillah. Who is currently your favourite Muslim scholar? I'm a big fan of Sheikh Hamza Yusuf. I must say, is the way he talks, his intellect when it comes to these sort of problems is so good.
He goes into things that other people don't go into. I really like him as well. Articulates really well as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nobody knows how their life is going to end, so never be arrogant. Yeah. Right, 1 minute, Ben. You entertain the audience because I've got to go.
That's cool.
My nephew's here, so I need to feed him.
Yeah, that's cool, man. So I'll tell a story that I heard on a YouTube video. That's some what you just said. That I don't know if he's gone now or not, but so there's a story of a block of flats, and there's one guy on the bottom floor, and he's a sheikh, and you can hear him through the thin walls reciting Quran all the time. He's always praying. He's always in and out of the house to the masjid. And the guy above him on the flats is a Muslim, but he's partying all the time. He's never going to the masjid. He's never praying. He's got music blasting. He's got girls coming over, and they're drinking alcohol and so on like that. And you know, you'd assume the guy at the bottom floor would go to heaven, and the guy at the top would go to hell. But one day, the sheikh was just broke down and was like, "Why am I doing all this? I like all these a few bad things happened to him that day." And he was like, "Oh, why am I doing that? Guy upstairs, he's loving it. All those beautiful girls going into his room, doing this, doing that. I'll forget it. I'm going to join him." And at the same time, the guy upstairs was thinking, "What am I doing in my life, man? I'm going nowhere. I'm skinned. I've got no money. I've got no relationship with anyone. Like, it's a heartful relationship because all these girls that come in over. I want to go back to the dean. I'm going to go downstairs to talk to the sheikh." They both run that, but one runs up the stairs, one runs down the stairs, and they bump into each other, fall down the stairs, twist their neck, and die. And the sheikh goes to hellfire, and the guy that was going to go and had the intention to practice goes to heaven. Now I can't remember who told that story, and it's all about that whole lot thing. There is about you can't judge someone where they're going to go with their actions. Now you don't know what their story is going to tell, and also it tells you a story about intention, how powerful intention is, because what the only action that guy did that was upstairs was, "I'm going to change my ways and I'm going to make the action to do that, so I'm going to go downstairs." And the only intention the other guy did downstairs was the opposite, and it was all about intention. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting. Let's have a look at the chat. Yeah, I can't remember who told that story. It's really annoying me now. But yeah, I think it might have been, no, it wasn't. I always have my headphones on. I'm always listening to YouTube videos. I've got that YouTube Premium, so you can like put your phone on standby and it'll still play the things. It is a bit weird talking to myself, especially when there's no camera. If anyone got any questions, come on, help me out there, guys. I think you're just talking among yourself. I bet you've got it on mute. You've got the video on mute. Just put it on mute. I'm just going to chat. Oh, dear, look. Oh, dear. Where are you from? What, me? I'm from Oxfordshire. Can't think of any questions. Right. We're going to have a little
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
Say
Alhamdulillah. So I watched Mohammed Ajab's debate last night, and the atheist argument was, who created God?
Oh no, that was the idiot one. There's two atheists. That was what annoyed me. I really didn't. I'm glad you brought this subject up, something to talk about, because I was struggling there. So you got one atheist, the young one, and one old one. And the old atheist would bring up arguments from 20 years ago, like things that have been already covered with the theist and atheist arguments. It was ridiculous what was coming up. How do you know what Muhammad said? And you know, he's bringing up Christian arguments to a Muslim. What's he doing? But the other atheist was quite intelligent, I think. He did contradict himself a few things, but the thing is, you got to understand his morality. Well, not morality. His standpoint is, I'm adapting and changing. So the mistakes he made, that Hijab brought up, he said, yeah, I don't believe that anymore. I think this instead. But the problem is, it was like an hour and a bit, and there was 4 people debating. You couldn't get anywhere. You had enough time for each person to do an introduction and a kind of back and forth and a little bit, and that's it. And then there was questions and answers. I really didn't like it. What about you, Issa? Did you like it?
I really enjoyed the little conversation that that cosmetic spectic and Mohammed Ajab had, but Mohammed Ajab really
Right.
Mohammed Ajab was very put him into like made him come out with where they were going wrong and made him say that he's changed his stance. I enjoyed how he cornered him, and he still tried to say. He still tried to keep it going, but you can't keep it going. Once Mohammed Ajab corners you with academic scholarship and stuff like that, he just has nowhere to go, was it? It was crazy. Walaikum salam, Yasmin, welcome back.
Just reading through the comments because I can't look and look at the chat at the same time. So yeah, I think I really like Mohammed Hijab, but he said in a different video that he's going to try a different argument and approach with every debate he does. I think it's not very effective. So I understand what his argument was, and it's a really complicated one. It goes right to the core of whether things that exist are dependent on something, which means that there would need something to be dependent on, which he believes that's the and I do as well. It's the Muslim definition of God or Islamic definition of God. That's
a good point. I want to see another debate with Ajab and the young atheist. That is
just those two, because the other guy, I forgot his name. He's been on the media for a while now, but he's not a strong debater, I don't feel. And yeah, I think the young kid and Hijab would have been brilliant. Just those two, they would have had enough time to actually have an argument then.
Yeah, even though Abdullah Andalusi was very good. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, he did really well. I think Hijab is on another level of debating now, and he's getting deep with the arguments. And when you go deep with the arguments with a new debate, you have to start from the beginning. It takes a long time to explain, and you haven't got enough time. So when atheists are watching and they haven't really looked into Islam, and then you see the atheists say, well, why do this then? And Hijab says, because God said so. Then that sounds stupid. You've got to actually build the argument on why there is a creator and that it does exist and has interacted with us or the human mind.
That wasn't the principles of the debate, though, was it? Really?
No, not really.
The problem, I think, if that were the principles, I don't think any atheist would put that as a principle as a debate, because there's.
Well, the young atheist guy would his opening thing was really not very good either. He shone afterwards. So his opening thing was moral reasons. So and you can't say, oh, that's immoral, so it mustn't be from God, because where does your morals come from? You know what I mean? Again, it's that, and then that's a debate on whether subjective morality can be cultivated, become better. And actually become something ultimate. But then you got to define that ultimate thing. What are you trying to get to? What is the ultimate philosophy, or what's moral? And that's why you get different philosophies like communism and so on like that. But yeah, maybe I should debate at Speaker's Corner.
Alhamdulillah, you should, Ben. I think
the big difference between me and what I found when I'm talking to Muslims about debates with atheists, the Muslim doesn't really get what the atheist is saying and doesn't give the atheist any credit of what argument he's bringing forward. And I kind of understand their points, but I understand even more the Muslim points or the theist points or the Islamic points more, and I think they're more credible. So that's my position. So that's why I say I respect James. Well, I don't actually respect him anymore, the way he's been behaving on the streams, but I do like watching his debates. He's got really good points and really gets in deep there, and it's nice to see those things being brought up and questioned.
That's why that's why I'd love to. I would love to see him. I would love to see James with someone like Hamza Yusuf.
Do you know what? I wouldn't, because now I think he's shown his real intention with the chat with the Will guy. I don't know if you watched it.
I did watch it. Actually, yeah. To coming to think of it, coming to think of it, that William came with some fantastic points about spirituality, and that you can't go to a Muslim and say, oh, this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong, and expect them not to defend their religion, even if they don't know it. That's the biggest point that came with that. But how did you answer that? Is like,
yeah, because he doesn't think, like I don't want to bring it up, but I think he's the type of guy that's got one tunnel vision mindset on something, and he can't actually see other points because he's so focused on one thing, and that is fiqh, and whether Islamic fiqh is better than liberalism or liberal democratic values. And that's his point, but he actually doesn't see the point of, if you keep debating Muslims, especially when you approach Muslims that aren't educated in fiqh, doesn't matter if they're in the wrong, they're going to say no. I'm not. They're not going to leave their families, divorce their wife, move out, and then start drinking alcohol and hang out because one guy come up to him and went, "Did you know one hadith says this about the fiqh, so your religion's wrong?" You know what I mean? They're going to go away and look at it and think about it, talk to people about it. So is the actual intention of him going to Speaker's Corner and keep asking him these questions. At first, I was like, yeah, no, fair play. He's got some questions about the fiqh. He's going to get them answered. He's going out there to find them. But now I think his intention it's to make himself feel bigger and better, especially when how he acted when like Adnan walked away from the conversation and stuff, and he was loving it. It was like running away, running, and he was loving. You could see in his face he was very excited about that. And you go, right, that's actually his intention, and it's not actually he wants to learn about this thing, or he believes this fiqh means this law means this, but he's going to find out if the Muslims think differently and maybe debate that. He's literally there to wind people up and to make himself feel bigger and better, and that changes it for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and I'm not really.
But to be honest, what do you expect? Humans are like that. That's the weakness of humans. They want that. They're slaves to their own desires, and if you without thinking, by arguing a point and winning a debate makes you feel good, you're going to go and do that. And yeah. I'm good. James is the sort of person that will focus on one subject really in depth, and he can't think about anything else. That's all he'll do, and then he'll come to Speaker's Corner with his books. But yeah,
he does do his reading. But at the end of the day, we've got to be sincere with our things. If you don't know what someone's coming to you with, you've got to say, I don't know. You can't just say, oh yeah, but so and so said this, so and so said that, making stuff up just to make it look good. I don't agree with that. We have to be humble with ourselves, and we've got to make sure if you don't know something, if you don't know what he's talking about, just say, look, I don't know, James. And that's how I approached him. I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like even though I might have known that hadith, I don't feel like I'm in that zone. And I think many of the Muslims at the Speaker's Corner, what I've seen, fall into this trap of answering the question even though they don't know.
They don't know. Yeah.
And you can tell
I've not seen that myself, to be honest, but I only watch like Speaker Corner videos with people I know that are really intelligent and on their deen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's just one of them. It's very important. It's very, 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 very important in Islam is to not answer a question without knowing what you're talking about. It's okay talking about social things that are happening in front of our eyes, but when you talk about hadith and you talk about Quran, it's very important that we have this criteria in our head, that we're not just splitting stuff out what we think's right and what's wrong, and that it comes from a reliable source.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a discussion with someone and go, well, obviously I'm a layman and I've read this and I've read that and my understanding of this, but I'm definitely could be wrong because I'm not the one studying them. You know what I mean?
But that in itself could be it could lead on to stuff that you don't want to get yourself in for. You've got when you think about it, you've got to look at where it's going to lead. It's not about how you start. You can start with the beautifulest verse in the Quran, but where's it going to lead to when you're talking to someone like James? James is going to lead you down a path, yeah, where he's going to take you to stuff that you don't know, and he knows you don't know. He's a very smart guy. So when you talk to James, it's best off to cut him off straight away. Not acknowledge his.
Well, I think it's not about cutting them off and going, no, we don't want to hear it, la 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 la, that sort of thing. But it's more like, do you know what? You need to talk to someone that's got more knowledge than me.
I didn't mean it like cut him. I mean, tell him, look. What I meant by cut off. I mean, just say, look, bro, I don't think I'm knowledgeable enough. You need to come and I've pushed him onto people who are knowledgeable, and if he don't go to see them people, then me and him, I'm not interested in speaking to him about Islam in anything.
Yeah, no, I think if you look at, I think, to be honest, I was always against what Hamza said about people like that, because I think it's because he's trolling. Because Hamza's argument, is taking it right to the core. If there is an uncaused cause, can we agree on that being, and agreeing on the definition of belief and my reasons, and the reasons are the uncaused cause, and then the reasons that it leads to is of the no, it doesn't. What was it? Uncaused cause, and then it was my brain's gone blank. The attributes of there's attributes of the creator that are necessary to be able to cause the cause. And those coincide with Islam, and then you go, right, was Muhammad lying, telling the truth, or being deceived, and all that, and you go down there, and if you break those parts, then you've got a point. But what these people seem to do is Adnan did a really good analogy of zooming in on pixels. So you got a picture, you zoom in on a certain pixel, and you're looking at that and going, look at that, look at that, look at that. Doesn't mean the picture's not there, and it doesn't mean the picture's not beautiful. It's just that you're focused on that bit. And if you're not able to, if you're not able to actually see the good of what you're criticizing as well, because there is going to be good, there's good and bad in literally everything, then you can see that someone's intentions then as well. So yeah.
Yeah,
I had a bit of a brain fart then, sorry.
That's a good analogy what you've just brought into it though there.
Yeah, just have a little look at the comments now. Yeah, no, the reason I don't want to debate at Speaker's Corner is because a bit like what you've been saying, I don't feel like I've got enough knowledge. And what I mean, I feel I could debate people with my knowledge about things that aren't fully religious. Like I would like to debate a vegan because he believes that it's morally right to, morally wrong to consume the flesh of an animal or consume a byproduct of an animal, because they admit that their views are subjective, and that the main reason, the core reason, is just in case they can feel the pain or they're conscious like human beings. My main, I'll talk about it another time. Maybe I'll do a video about it. But
Inshallah. Yeah, but
I'll probably
subscribe to.
I prefer just to go to Speaker's Corner and talk about it, to be honest.
Subscribe to Ben. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was a semi-vegetarian. Well, he wouldn't claim to being a vegetarian. It's just that there wasn't enough meat at that time. Alhamdulillah.
He chose not to eat meat, and he even criticised some of the companions for buying and eating too much meat as well. He said that, didn't you know that with too much meat there is a disease, something like that. I'm paraphrasing. So
I always argue that point, but they didn't eat much meat anyway, and they didn't have much meat like we've got it now.
no one in any times had as much meat.
My point is, he wouldn't have called himself a vegetarian though.
No.
Alhamdulillah. So, what's it called? Yeah, we are waiting for a video from you.
I'm actually in a video at Speaker's Corner debating a vegan. I'm not debating the vegan, sorry. The vegan approached us and he had a sign saying, "Your God is vegan," and we started the conversation saying, "How do you know what God is?" And because obviously he was holding that sign because he wanted to dialogue with religious people, and he wanted the subject of the debate to be justifying killing animals to eat them because of a religious belief. But the thing is that he didn't realise is that conversation's always going to go back to objective and subjective morality. So he was holding the sign thinking they'd talk about meat, but what it's really going to go down to is there a God or not? So let's talk about that, because if there's a God, then you're wrong, and if you can prove there isn't a God, then I'm right. You know what I mean? And Abbas was talking to him with that line, but I couldn't help but chip in. I was like, well, actually, and yeah. So I am on a video at Speaker's Corner debating a vegan.
For me, veganism is the extreme version of vegetarian. So if I was to do all, I'd be a vegetarian because I like to eat fish and I like to drink milk, and so I don't eat much meat, to be honest with you. Only when I go out. So when I'm at home, I don't eat much, only fish. So
yeah,
I'm done.
it's reasons why people become vegan and vegetarian. It's the thing that you meant to discuss rather than the actual act of not eating meat or the non-act of not eating meat and byproducts. Because some people were vegetarian because they just don't like meat. It's a bit weird. And then some people are vegetarian because they feel it's morally wrong to kill an animal. But then you can go, well, is it all right to keep a chicken in a cage all its life, so in the dark, so it lays eggs? You can eat them eggs.
I don't agree with that.
Exactly.
That's why I only eat free-range eggs, so it's not. Yeah. I'd say it was around to eat caged animals.
I believe that as well. So we had a big conversation on the group about, haven't we?
Yeah. So it's not just halal meat. You've got to think about the tayyub, which is the looking after the animal as well. So if you're caging animals and then you're injecting them with antibiotics to keep them alive and keeping them dark so they don't peck each other to death, then that's not halal and that's not tayyub. Tayyub is the free range eggs that you can buy. So if you're buying caged eggs, then I advise brothers and sisters to buy free range.
So I'll go even further, mate. And Floatman said something cool. In reality, as Muslims, we should be eating halal organic meat. Now, the reason we should eat organic meat is because, and I'm only talking about the UK now because I don't know other countries, is to get the certificate of organic, there's massive animal welfare criteria you have to hit as a farmer. So if you want organic milk, they've got to be grass fed. They can't be in a shed all day, and it's got to have a good life. The cow's got to have a good life. I bought some milk the other day, Issa, and I think it was like 80p for 2 pints of milk, or 89p for the organic milk. 9p more for that cow to have an awesome life compared to a bit of a rubbish one.
Yeah.
It's hard to get halal organic meat because I think there's only a few places you can get them, and I'm gonna advertise one now because there's a farm in Oxford called Willowbrook's Farm, and they deliver. I think they're all around the UK now, except for the islands, like the Shetland Islands and stuff. And they raise their own animals, they slaughter them themselves, and it's all organic. And you can even go to the farm to see it and everything. It's brilliant. So even Google it, Willowbrook Farm.
Walaikum salam, Jordan.
Walaikum salam. Yeah. So what's the point? Just because if this chicken, right, let's talk about meat now, right? This chicken's been in a massive shed. It's been bred to be it's been bred to grow too fast. It's been fed antibiotics and steroids to be pumped up, and within 6 weeks they're ready for slaughter. Yeah. Have you seen the size of the chicken breasts in the halal shops? They're way too big. They shouldn't be that big for a chicken, but it's mental. So this chicken has an awful life. It's eating, it's getting pecked, it's got scarred. Then it gets to the slaughterhouse, it gets hung up on the thing, and in some cases, in the background, someone's playing Bismillah Allahu Akbar while a machine slaughters it. And you're saying that's halal? What? What? Just because it's got the little Arabic logo on it? It's crazy. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I sometimes just eat the meat because it's easy at the time, or I'm really struggling for money. Because sometimes eating vegetarian is more expensive, and
I've changed my ways a lot, Ben, though, because I was someone who would just eat any meat, anything, the chicken shops. But since I've become Muslim, I started reading about how the Prophet Muhammad lived, and I've kind of cut down on these chicken shops. There's one chicken shop that I used to go to, and I'll never go to it again now.
Yeah.
Just looking at.
I mean, it's going to be good for you anyway, because the chicken shop's not going to have good food, is it? Good nutritious food. But to be honest, sometimes you have a bad day. You've got £3 left, and it's payday in 3 days, and you're just like, oh, do you know what? I just need to buy cheap chicken. All right, £3. Yeah, now I've got dinner for 3 days. Sometimes that's how it is. You do your best, don't you? You can't be a saint. But I would say it's better to eat meat less and pay more for that meat because it's had a better upbringing. It's better for you anyway because there's no chemicals and stuff in there. The animal's been slaughtered in the most humane way possible, and it's not been having a rubbish upbringing. I think that's more powerful.
Missed, when I come to Islam was a thing called Scotch eggs. Do you know what they are?
Yeah.
And you can get Quorn ones now, and I've substituted it, and they just taste the same, and it's really nice.
It is good. Do you know what, bro? If you're not into cooking, start cooking, man, because you can make lamb Scotch eggs like homemade. Really good.
Got that sort of patience.
Huh?
I ain't got that sort of patience.
Maybe, inshallah, your future wife will learn how to make a Scotch egg for you.
She
likes cooking.
Inshallah.
I'm just going to have a quick read of the, because when I talk, I can't read at the same time. So I'm just going to have a quick read. So entertain the masses for a bit. Yeah, so Yusra's got a good point.
Greg's vegan sausage rolls are making breaking sale.
They are amazing. They are amazing.
It's not about being lazy, floating. It's just about whether you have a sort of like a passion for it. I cook, but I don't have a passion for it.
Yeah, you don't make that actually, because it would take ages to make your own Scotch eggs, and you probably stuff them down. Not you, but everyone would stuff them down in seconds. So you spend hours making the Scotch egg. Like you probably make 8 of them, and then you'll be like, "Oh, it's amazing!" I eat 4 of them, then you probably share them out because you're proud that you've made them. They're gone. You know what I mean? But I really enjoy cooking, and actually moving to this flat, I'm cooking quite a lot. Even though it's Ramadan, I've made too much food, to be honest.
Yeah, when you're on your own, you're going to still make the same meals you made before, but you're on your own.
Yeah. But yeah, no, alhamdulillah. I think if you're worried if your meat's halal, we would also be worried if that animal has been brought up halal as well. And
Ben, sorry.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, they're really good. I like them.
I'm not trying to do it yet because I get heartburn off pastry. So.
Oh, fair enough.
So
there's a Cornish pasty shop as well that's been selling vegetarian sausage rolls for years, and they're so good, man. But because Greg's vegan, they've now upgraded theirs to vegan as well, so they don't put the egg wash on the pastry and stuff.
Yeah, so I heard a lot about the vegan sausage rolls. People were going crazy over them, saying, "Look what they're doing to us! They're taking everything from us, and they won't blaming the Muslims for once." I know it's usually the common theme in it. Muslims have done this. Muslims have done that.
Well, they didn't. They probably didn't realise that it was a Muslim that will be eating them. So.
Oh. Shut down.
He's cute.
He's eating his tea. He's just telling me that he's eating the rest of it.
Oh, he's lovely.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think? Would you even try it after Ramadan? Would you try eating meat once a week, or even one meal a day? Because we probably eat like every meal, man. Like, so you got full English for breakfast, sandwich with ham in it, or obviously you got the Muslims, but I'm just talking generally, or chicken or whatever, tuna or whatever. In the sandwich, and then you come home and you have like burger and chips or a roast dinner or chicken biryani, and it's literally everything you eat's got meat in it. Would you try it out? Would you try less meat, or have a look at how much meat you buy and then go how much you spend and then buy the same amount of money on organic meat?
Ramadan is seems to be where I'm from. Every time you go to an iftar at the mosque, it's meat. Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah. Well, it's cheap, isn't it, at the halal shops, man? I couldn't believe it the other day.
Meat I eat is fish. Ben, I don't really cook anything other than. I don't really eat meat, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
Only time I eat meat is when I buy a takeaway.
Yeah. No, fish is good for you, man. I bought a load of fish from Iceland. It's really cheap, and you can make a lot of different things with it. So. Yeah,
I love you know, the fish with the breadcrumbs on it.
Yeah.
I really like that because it's all right on my diet. So.
Cool, man.
I eat stuff like that, and tonight I'm having a treat tonight.
What are you having?
I bought some southern fried fish burgers.
Oh, cool.
And in bread buns with wedges. I fancied some wedges because I tried to look for curly fries, but because of you.
So you got to go to Tesco, £1.50, mate. Tesco. Ben, so Red's saying don't buy Iceland fish, bro. Why is that, Red? What reason is that? I have to wait for it now.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh man, I'm gonna go in 15 minutes because I want to go to the masjid for Asr.
I am going in 15 minutes as well because I've got some stuff to do, prepare my food and my breakfast and whatever else. So we'll say 6:30, and then maybe Jordan will do as a special live stream from his car, inshallah.
Inshallah.
You know, we can treat us, and then everyone can move over there. Alhamdulillah.
Is Jordan still watching? Red, are you going to tell me why you can't eat fish from Iceland?
Good time. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah, but why though? Why can't I eat it? You said that you've eaten it before. You don't want to be a hypocrite. It's not being a hypocrite, man. It's knowing what's right and wrong. So, for example, you know, if you intend to do the right thing, but you can't help but sometimes like slip up, it's not a problem. You just if you take a step back, take 2 steps forwards. That's my little thing. You could say the same thing with Islam. If if you're like praying 5 times a day, then you miss Fajr on purpose.
What's the problem?
You what?
What's the problem with Iceland fish?
I don't know. He's not telling us, but I'm just saying, like, it's not. You're not really a hypocrite if you say it's bad to eat something and you got a reason, and then you sometimes eat it. So it's the quality. No, the quality's good, bro. It's like really good. Honestly, it's not. It's not.
So me and Kammy are planning another show next week. Well, you know what I mean? A show on something else, talking about something else. Alhamdulillah.
Very good.
Time goes quick when you're talking, though, man.
So, but fish farms, cheapest dodgy cuts besides their inhumane ways, plus what they give the fish. Okay. So I think it'll be a problem if there's loads of chemicals in the fish. But I'm going to be honest, I don't believe fish have a consciousness like mammals do, for example. Well, a lot of even livestock don't really have much of a consciousness. And when I say a consciousness, I mean self-awareness, knowing what's happening. Like,
do you believe that, Fairy?
Say that again.
Do you believe that, Fairy?
I do, yeah, I do. I think every animal's got a different different level of consciousness or self-awareness.
Speak to someone who's kept fish all his life.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, but I believe that you're seeing how it's acting and then putting your own emotions, experience onto it and saying, yeah, it's loving that, it's doing that, but all it's doing is its instinct.
Oh, because if it didn't have a conscience, it wouldn't know how to eat or when to eat.
No, that's instinct. A Venus flytrap knows to close its mouth when a fly goes in it.
That fella you just spoke about, they claim that fish has got a 3-second memory.
Yeah, I didn't believe that. I don't believe that.
So this is the
But,
third.
their memory isn't like our memory. Like we think through what's happened and why it happened and stuff. They
No.
just know that if I go there, food goes. And they're not thinking it. It's just happening. It's
So
just
you
like
don't-
instinct.
I've got
Like if I clap in front of your face, you'll close your eyes and blink without thinking about it. Doesn't mean you thought through the process. Right, I need to close my eyes just in case that I get something in my eye now. You do it instinct, and it's the same with a lot of lower forms of animals.
no, I don't believe that with fish. I've kept fish a lot of years, and
Well, stop eating them then. Stop eating them then, because they're going, oh, it's horrible in this net. Oh, and then they go in the boat and then they suffocate to death. So and that,
animals, and I've eaten animals as well, and I've kept animals. So what you on about? Alhamdulillah.
matters what animals. Matters what animals. If you want, we could bring this into a proper video. I've even got evidences of what I'm saying.
So you believe I go fishing, it doesn't harm them when I get the hook into the mouth?
What do you mean by harm them?
Do they feel pain?
Yeah, they feel pain, but do they know that? Do they fear the pain? That what's worse, having pain without any thought. So, for example, like when you like, they say about people that get circumcised when they're a baby, it's probably the most traumatizing thing they say, and then they go, "Do you remember it?" No, but it doesn't mean that baby didn't feel pain, but you don't remember it, so it isn't traumatizing. It wasn't going through anything really bad.
I'm not saying that fish have a conscience, yeah, and they have emotions, and they have. But I'm saying it's not exactly that. I don't believe in that fairy what you said, because fish know what the. So if I put one fish, a tiger barb, into my tank, then and then 2 months later I put another tiger barb in, they know that tiger barb is the same as that tiger barb, so they always come back together, the same fish.
So what, and you think that I'm not claiming that stuff doesn't happen, Issa. I'm claiming that the thought process that fish has isn't the same thought process we have.
Oh no!
But what we do is we look at that fish and we see that they're pairing together, and we put our own experiences and emotions onto that action that fish is doing. So they'll go, "Oh, they love each other. Those do." Ah, no, they don't. They're just doing it because that's wired into them.
Cats and dogs are the same, and cows are the same. They don't have the same as us, conscience as us, and communicate.
Cows, yeah. But do you want to do what animal does though? Pigs.
Animals have emotions.
Pigs are able to look in the mirror and know it's them. Like pigs have a consciousness.
That's what I've just said to you.
Yeah, and I think you're misunderstanding my argument. I'm not saying anything but a human has nothingness. I think different animals have a different level, and I think fish are one of those animals that have a really low consciousness, and they don't panic, they don't fear like we do, and they don't experience worry and distress like we do. They work on instinct. So yeah.
Yes.
What the comments have got to say with this, because this is a bit different for a Muslim channel.
From keeping fish from a very young age and watching them grow and watching them how they act and stuff like that, I have a different spin on what fish actually are. And
my claim is, and you're kind of proving my claim, is that when people do that, they're putting their own experiences and emotions onto the fish's actions rather than what's actually happening.
So when you talk about a human being, you're putting your own emotion in your own.
Yeah, but that human being can communicate back and express what they're feeling. So we know that they have emotions and they have a consciousness.
You'd need the full tank to have a food man that's small. The my fish are not edible anyway. If you know about fish, they're not edible. You do not eat tropical fish.
So Ben, why do you think we're not allowed to let the animals have fear psychologically? What does that mean? Sorry, man, I don't understand your question. And by the way, I'm not putting all animals into one basket. I think different animals have a different level of consciousness and self-awareness, and not many animals have self-awareness.
Your own emotion on them then. That's exactly the same what you're doing.
Because I'm gonna sound silly now because I haven't got the exact source, but there's been scientific tests on this sort of thing.
Yes,
I looked into it ages ago. I'll bring it up for you on the group if you want.
Anyway,
but that's where my main argument with veganism is.
I'd eat you, Jordan, before you eat my fish. So yeah, everything is edible. My fish, hide your fish, people. Jordan is about. Nah, he won't be getting in my house. So true. You're seeing this, Chris. When Jordan comes for dinner, we know what he wants, inshallah. He's not getting none of my fish, man. He'll be getting, no matter how big he is, he'll be getting kicked straight out the door at first. None of that round here in the north.
No.
That's to answer to not me.
Right, I'm going to head off now, mate, because I need to do wudu and go to the masjid. I want to get my sunnah in.
All right.
Otherwise, I'll be doing straight to the fard.
Jordan. I mean, calls you Jordan. Ben,
Yeah.
been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Been a- Alhamdulillah.
See you later.
The saviour, as I think our minds can play tricks on us. So, Ben has gone. People are still interacting. People still want to show, but there's just myself, me, myself, and I. Yes, tell him, Colin. Tell him. Alhamdulillah, tell him. That's fighting talk. So when you come round for dinner, Jordan, inshallah, we'll get you some beautiful salmon, a bit of fresh salmon from the Morris Sands.
All right. It's Ben. So just check.
Are you back? Tut. Anyway, oh, Ben came on for 2 seconds. What did he do? Oh, alhamdulillah. What's he like? Well, I'm going to come off now, guys, myself. It's 6:30. I've been on 2 hours. Alhamdulillah, that's way past my time. I hope you enjoyed what Kammy had to say. Alhamdulillah, me and Kammy will be doing another live show for you soon, inshallah. And inshallah, I don't know when our brother Jordan will be back, inshallah, but if you aren't subscribed to Jordan M, please subscribe. If you need to subscribe to Ben Ikra, subscribe, KMTV official, EF Dawah, so subscribe. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our fasting. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.
Are you still live?
Yeah.
Right. I just checked the timetable. It's gone forward 15 minutes. So so I've got 15 minutes free. So it's all good. I tried to come on earlier, and then I thought you kicked me off. Then
I'm like, what? What's he doing? Alhamdulillah, Ben is back. Ben's back. We've got 15 minutes to go. Alhamdulillah, don't go nowhere.
So how long have you been streaming now then?
2 hours and so long. Since 5 o'clock. No, was it 4? Yeah, 4 o'clock. I've been streaming since. Longer than 2 hours. Alhamdulillah. Dua came true. You can do so we stay on.
Oi, Ben. Wait. Sorry, but yeah, did I say that I bumped into someone? Did I ever told this?
Explain.
Yeah, I was at the masjid and I got someone grabbed me. Oh, he didn't grab me, but they were like, "Assalamu alaikum." I was like, "Right." And he went, "Do you go on live streams with Jordan M?" I was like, I just burst out laughing. So we got a fan like in the local area. He was like, "I can't believe you live in Oxford." So he's not like you guys. No offense, you guys, but he's not on the chat and watching every stream that comes on.
Alhamdulillah.
But you know, he watches the live streams. He watches EF Dawah and stuff. And yeah, alhamdulillah, it's pretty cool. And it's not. I didn't mean that in a way of it's cool. People are recognizing me. Oh, look at me, I'm famous. It's really cool that
that is actually touching people, like touching people's lives. So with this guy, his family watched the F Hour and Jordan's videos, and one of his younger brothers stopped practicing Islam, and because of Jordan, he started practicing Islam again. So he was like, he wouldn't listen to any of his elders or anything like that, but they're saying about Jordan that that he could relate to, and then he thought, what am I doing? And he started practicing again. Alhamdulillah. You know what I mean? Crazy good. So this is why we do the videos, guys.
Do you know how many people this affects? Even if we're talking about not even much that's not worth talking about. How many people message me in inboxes saying, "Bro, man, thanks for this, thanks for that, man. You've got me back." It boosts Muslims a man watching people who are not from what they think is Islam, and then seeing us talk about Islam. It's like, you know, alhamdulillah, I must give him a boost.
Oh yeah, Jordan coming to Oxford.
At least better than watching
Sunday. Cool, man. I'm off on Sunday. Sorted. Oh, he retracted it. That was probably meant to be. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud. He's not. He's not coming. He's not really.
Only thing
I'm probably going to his. So
you can't delete what you just said. You can, but you can't delete. Alhamdulillah, I'm coming to see you.
That'd be good, man. Is it still Ramadan then? Let's have a look. Week Sunday.
Yeah,
it's gone quick, isn't it? It's gone quick. What we got? Yeah, it is. Cool. Oh no, I think I'm away. No, I'm not. It's all good. It's all good.
We're coming to Oxford to see you, babe. Woohoo!
Is it? No, wait a minute. I think I am. All right. Yeah, I've got to go. I'm going training in Nottingham, but I'll be travelling up late at Sunday, so it'll be cool if you come down like early in that, and then I have to nip to Swindon to like later night. So why am I talking about this on air? It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking to myself, what's he done? You know where you are. You know where you are, don't you?
I forget sometimes, I'm being honest.
Alhamdulillah.
Just feels like I'm on a phone call with you, mate. It's cool. I'll be there 7 PM. Good. It'll be like, when's Ben gone? Right, let's enjoy Oxford.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, so Ben, iftar. We need to organise an iftar. We'll try to get one iftar in, but it's.
Yeah, if not, we should make an effort to come, like to meet again. Are you going to go? You're getting married and that, aren't you? So you won't. I was going to say you're going to Speaker's Corner when everyone else come in.
I'm not. I won't be at Speaker's Corner on the 9th of June. I can't afford to come down.
I don't know if I want to go now because it's like I can't just skulk in the background.
Yeah.
Just listen. Well, I just want to listen, guys. I don't want to debate. I might debate a vegan on the sly, out of camera. Don't want to be on camera.
Ben, just don't react to the nonsense, and then you'll be all right. I get away with it. I get away with it many times. I kind of stay in the background and watch. People try the best though. We just laugh.
Yeah.
You get bored and go away and leave you alone. I've seen that if you ignore things and pretend that it didn't happen, it kind of just goes away.
It's true. It matters what people want when they're doing that.
We all need it to test our patience. I'm telling you, the patience tester is with you. If there's someone there testing your patience, then it's a good thing because you can work on yourself then.
Yeah, inshallah.
Yeah.
So, you know your hat that says love.
Yes.
Why isn't there any vowels on it? Because what was it? H-O-B. Hob.
Hob.
No, it's hob. Hob. So why is there no what's the one for? What's the vowel for? Oh, is it I know what it looks like. I forgot what it's called, but there's a little vowel. Why isn't there any little thing? Is that what Arabs do? Like when they read, they don't need to use the like the vowels and the kasra and stuff like that.
You're asking the wrong person.
Well, is Yusra online? Does she know?
Yeah, she
Any
probably
Arab speaker?
she will know. Daisy M might know. Daisy M is my mother-in-law, future mother-in-law.
Oh, mashallah.
I do not know.
Yeah, it's basically a comma. Yeah, it's like a comma looking. I forgot what it's called now. I have to get my book.
I don't know. All I know is that it means love. That's it. Mr. Artworld, my Artworld, sorry. Assalamu alaikum.
My art world. Walaikum salam. Looks pretty cool. His channel. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Cool. You get all sorts of people watch us. That's amazing. That's a cool channel he's got.
Yeah, apparently he's got quite a big channel. I'll look at that after.
Ben sounds like a London Arab. Do I? Daisy M is not related to Jordan M. Oh, excuse me. God, I'm tired. I'm going to work today and I've got a day off.
Yeah.
It's hard life, man. It's hard life.
Dama.
That's it. Yeah.
I do not know, Ben. I do not know.
What you said you know the Arabic alphabet?
Yeah.
Come on, get on it, mate. Get on it.
Don't get me.
Stop reading English books. Read some Arabic books. Read Bukhari fresh from the text. Read the Quran from the text. Imagine that. Imagine standing in Jummah.
Don't forget about yourself, bro.
I'm doing it as well, bro. It's fine.
Don't get tied up in this Arabic and forget about yourself.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true.
What's the point of having Arabic language if you're not good? You're not fixing yourself.
Imagine this. Though. Imagine you spend 5 years fixing yourself with English translation books, then you learn Arabic, and you find there's loads of things that was mistranslated. I'm doing the deen completely wrong. So focus on the Arabic. Get the real source there. I'm joking, guys. But yeah, I enjoy the Arabic, so it's not much of a it's not much of a chore to learn it or effort.
Inshallah. So Ben, as you're older in the Arab world, we are taught to read without vowels. It's mainly for children to learn with.
No way, really. I suppose it's different because I'm learning classical Arabic, so I'm learning to read the Quran, and I'm sure that all the vowels and all the marks are there perfectly, so the tajweed is perfect. I'm guessing that's why I'm learning it like that as well. So yeah, that must be so weird, man. Imagine, Issa, let's have a look at the word need. Okay, imagine the need spelled with ND, just ND. And we know what it means. I suppose shorthand is like that, isn't it? Like text language.
No, journalists do a different writing to us.
Yeah,
Like
the shorthand.
At university, because when I did that article for Leeds Live, he was writing down what I was saying, and then after I said, "What's that?" and it looked like Arabic, and he was like, "This is what I learned in university." It's I forgot what it's called. It was words but put together, so you can write it quickly. He said you can write. Have you seen it?
Cool. No, I've not seen that before. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that was it was awesome. I was like, what? And he said it takes a long time. He said he's learning how to write a full paragraph in like a minute because you've got to go with a voice per minute.
Yeah. It's hard, man. So I have to write down notes as people.
Shorthand, is that what it's called? Shorthand. I
don't know. Shorthand means anything can.
Used by note takers, yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah.
It was the first thing I've ever seen something like that. Anyway.
Pretty cool.
I think I'm going to call it quits, Ben, because I'm getting a bit tired, bro.
Yeah, it's cool, man. I've got to go now anyway. So yeah, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Ben.
I'll see you guys later.
See you on the other side, inshallah. Right, guys, that's me done. I've been long enough. Alhamdulillah, it was a good show. Jazakallah khairan for every person that came, said salams, even Mr. Pakistani atheist, thank you for coming. Alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the full ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our fasting. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.